Alexandria's streets shimmer under a relentless sun. Marble columns cast long shadows over markets, alive with shouts, spice smoke, and the jangle of coin. A city, both magnificent and volatile. Temples, churches, and palaces loom over narrow alleys. The smell of incense mingles with sea salt from the harbor. Here, beauty hides a constant undertone of fear and sudden violence. It is 415 AD. Alexandria is a city in transformation. Once the beacon of Greek learning, it is now caught between its pagan past and a fervent new Christian future that brooks no rivals. At the center of this fragile balance rides Hypatia, scholar, philosopher, mathematician. Her mind is a treasure, her influence unmatched. Today, her chariot takes her into mortal danger. The crowd ahead swells, faces twisted by anger. "Sorceress!" they cry. Rough hands pull her down. She is dragged toward the Caesareum, a building heavy with the weight of shifting faiths. Once a temple to Roman emperors, now a Christian church. The Caesareum's stones have seen gods rise and fall. Today, they will see the destruction of one of the greatest minds in history. Her robes are torn. The cold floor bites at her bare skin. The mob's weapons are not swords but jagged pottery shards, cheap, brutal, and perfect for their cruel purpose. They strike, slash, and flay. Skin and blood meet cold stone. Prayers curdle into screams. The mob's fury is blind, each blow meant to erase not just a life, but a legacy. Her body is torn apart. The remains are carried through the streets, jeered at, then burned at Cineron. A final insult, a belief that fire could cleanse the evil of her intellect. This murder was no random act. It was the culmination of years of political rivalry, religious zeal, and whispered lies. To understand it, we must walk back through Alexandria's troubled heart. Founded by Alexander the Great, the city blended Greek, Egyptian, and Roman worlds. Its lighthouse was a wonder, its library a sanctuary for knowledge seekers across continents. By the 4th century, the Roman Empire embraced Christianity. Pagan temples closed, statues of old gods were toppled. The old order withered, though not without resistance from its adherents. Alexandria thrived on trade and scholarship, but also on conflict. Riots were woven into its history. The citizens were quick to take sides, quicker still to spill blood for them. In 412 AD, Cyril rose to patriarch. His path was contested, his will enforced by Parabolani, Christian lay brothers who tended the sick, but also served as his street enforcers. Cyril's rule was aggressive. In 414, after tensions with Alexandria's Jewish community, he expelled them, seizing synagogues. The governor, Orestes, opposed him, igniting a public feud. Markets became arenas for political theater. Sermons turned into rallying cries. The city split between those loyal to Cyril's church and those loyal to the prefect's civil authority. When Nitrian monks attacked Orestes, injuring him with a stone, one was captured and tortured to death. Cyril tried to declare him a martyr, but public opinion turned against the claim. The rivalry deepened. In this storm stood Hypatia, advising Orestes. She was respected for her intellect, her impartiality, and her refusal to bow to political or religious pressure. She led the Neoplatonic school, teaching philosophy that sought truth beyond sectarian lines. Her classroom was open to all, pagans, Christians, Jews, bound by the pursuit of knowledge. Neoplatonism valued mathematics, astronomy, and reason as pathways to understanding the divine. It was not inherently anti-Christian, but to zealots it was a dangerous alternative. Her influence over Orestes made her a target. By 415, rumors darkened her name. She was accused of using magic to keep Orestes from reconciling with Cyril, of corrupting Christian souls. John of Nikiu's account dripped with venom, calling her a servant of satanic wiles. Such words were kindling for mobs already eager to act in the name of faith. Whether Cyril directed it or not, his circle's hostility made her death inevitable. The city was a powder keg. She was cast as the obstacle to Alexandria's purification. The final days were tense. Alexandria's streets carried the hum of danger. Friends may have warned her, but her belief in reason likely blinded her to how far the mob would go. In March, during Lent, her chariot passed through the city. A swarm led by Peter the Lector blocked her path. There was no escape, only the tightening ring of bodies and hatred. Dragged into the Caesareum, she faced her accusers. Stripped naked, she stood in a building meant for prayer, surrounded by men who believed they acted for God's glory. Ostraca bit into her flesh. Cuts multiplied. Some accounts say her eyes were gouged. Blood pooled on the stones. Her mind, once a light to many, flickered and went dark. The mob dismembered her. The pieces were paraded through Alexandria like trophies. At Cinnaron, they burned her remains, smoke rising as if to blot her from the sky itself. This was a ritual killing. In Alexandria's violent history, such acts were meant to cleanse the city of perceived evil. Here, it was the destruction of wisdom itself. News traveled fast. Scholars across the empire recoiled. Socrates Scholasticus, a Christian historian, condemned it as an act utterly opposed to Christian spirit. Orestes was devastated. His ally was gone, his authority weakened. The emperor's court investigated, limiting the Parabolani's reach, a rare imperial rebuke to church power. Cyril's name lingered over the event. Without proof, he faced no punishment. He remained patriarch, later canonized, though history keeps his sainthood under the shadow of her blood. Hypatia's death shattered Alexandria's scholarly life. Many fled, fearing they might be next. Some called it the end of the city's golden age of learning and openness. In private letters, she was remembered as a martyr for philosophy. Damascus honored her as the last great voice of Hellenic reason silenced by religious fanaticism. Her story re-emerged in the Enlightenment. Voltaire used it to condemn religious intolerance. In the 19th century, Charles Kingsley made her a romantic heroine in fiction. Artists painted her as young and beautiful, surrounded by a furious mob. These images, though fanciful, made her a lasting icon of reason destroyed by ignorance. Today, her name graces statues, craters, and academic journals. The modern Library of Alexandria honors her with a statue, a nod to the city's most famous scholar. Her killers failed. The flames that consumed her body could not touch her ideas. Her legacy still burns, a warning against the blindness of fanaticism. Hypatia's murder is more than history. It is a mirror held to every age. Will we protect truth, or let it be silenced again beneath the roar of the mob?